The corner, the corner, the corner.
Hey, welcome. Come on into Cousin Ed's Corner. This podcast is where you'll find real, authentic conversation, organic conversation, unscripted, unfiltered conversation, like you're on with your cousin. It's all about life. It's about finance. It's about spirituality. It's about love and everything in between. I'm your host, Cousin Ed. I'm excited to bring you along on this journey. So sit back and listen in as we dive into a wide range of topics. I have some diverse guests coming on with an array of thoughts and opinions. My goal is to create a space all for us to connect and communicate. It's not really about me. It's about the community as a whole. Let's enjoy it. Let's sit back. Let's think about our past. Let's move into our future. It's about
The corner, the corner, the corner. So no matter how you cut it or slice it, we're all here together. I'm just here to give you a piece of my heart, my mind, my soul, and my mentals. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Cousin Ed's Corner. The corner, the corner, the corner. What's going on, fam? What's going on, fam? It's your boy, Cousin Ed. Yes, indeed. We're back with another one, Cousin Ed's Corner. And this is going to be the Corner Connection. So for those out there, first of all, thank y'all. Love y'all. Definitely appreciate y'all for just rocking with us, right? Cousin Ed's Corner, Season 4. I can't even count the number of episodes now, right? It's just amazing. I just want to say thank you. But when I'm talking about the Corner Connection, you've heard a lot of the other shows that we've done so far as Motivational Monday, Wind Down Wednesday, Thank God for Everything on Friday. When my sister wins, we all win on some Wednesdays. Also Financial Freedom Friday on some Fridays. And now we have the Corner Connection that can come out any day of the week, right? It's just a time to connect and just talk about certain things about the show, right? And the show really being part of me as Cousin Ed. So just want to give you a little brief before I get into the show. I've had some thoughts for the last couple of days and talking to some people, and I had a conversation with my daughter and her one of her best friends. You know, everybody has friends, right? But one of her good friends. And the young lady, she said she wanted to talk to me, and she was talking about just not feeling confident, feeling that she's not seen, and she has a number of brothers and sisters in the house, and mom is dealing with all of the other kids, and she's at a point now where she can take care of us. It's just a lot of stuff she was going through, right? She was searching for herself in her 18 years old and searching for herself, right? And it's dangerous. To me, it's very dangerous, right? It got me thinking about myself as a young teen, as a young person, and trying to find yourself. And I wanted to just talk about my story, and for anyone out there who has kids or teenagers that's maybe going through some of the same things, and maybe you yourself went through it, or you has somebody else that experienced this kind of stuff, that we can help these teens build their confidence and know who they really are, right? So this really touches my heart to hear her talk about that, and then thinking back to what changed my life to give me some of the confidence that I have today and throughout my young teenage years and adult years, right? So as a only child growing up, I had I call them my siblings. We lived in the same house back in Brooklyn. If you know about 3-story houses or brownstones and things like that, you have multiple families in a house. I had 3 siblings that lived in the building, but not directly in my house, right? So my cousin, who's older, lived on the second floor, and my two other cousins lived on the third floor. One is 6 months older than me, and the other one, who's her sister, is 5 years younger than us. So I was more relatable to, especially the 6 month old who's older than me, but the one that's 5 years younger as well, right? So growing up, I didn't have siblings. I was only child, and I tell the truth. I was short. I was, as they used to say, husky as a kid. If I was playing football, they would put me on the line, right? I was short, husky. I wasn't as confident in the classroom setting. I moved schools several times due to my mother and father separation, and had a lot of confidence building to do, right? Trying to find myself. And this is probably one of the most opening conversations I probably had on the show, but I felt I had to tell this young lady the same story. So I want to tell other people to make sure that you share things like this with your kids about yourself, to let them know how you got through things, right? So coming up, moving schools, I go to a school in the 5th grade, and probably nobody on this, whoever heard this before, probably knows this. 5th grade, my grandmother passed away, and I didn't care about anything, right? I didn't care about grade school. She was sick the whole year, and not only was she sick, but not take her out the picture at the time. I moved to a private school from a school in the hood that was failing, right? So they're way ahead of me. They learning Shakespeare, and I was learning Dog ate my book, right? So it was way ahead of me, right? And one thing that I laugh at, they was learning line dancing, and I was learning how to play gigolo in the parking lot, right? In the schoolyard, right? It was crazy. That's a whole nother story. So I get there, and I am ostracized by the kids, because I'm one of the slowest ones in the class, to be honest, right? One of the slowest ones in the class at the time. My grandmother passes. I get left back. I get left back in the 5th grade, and confidence is just taken away. Like everything you could think of. Your parents try to help you, but now your whole family knows that you got left back. They don't know the circumstances behind or what you were going through, but everybody knows you got left back, right? And I stayed the next year. I passed 5th grade, and I said, I don't want to do this again. It was too much for me. I don't want to do this again. So I get my parents to say okay, and they put me in public school. I go to public school, and my cousin that I was telling you about, that was 6 months older than me, she's already a grade ahead of me now. We started the same grade. Now she's a grade ahead of me. But she's out of school. And if anybody ever seen the show Everybody Hates Chris, that is Marine Park in Brooklyn, New York. So it was an all-white school when he went there. And it was still an all-white school when I went there many years later. And we got bused into the school, right? So we had to take a bus into the school. And when I got there, I was still socially awkward. I was still... Been back up. That summer, this is where everything changed. So I gotta tell the truth. This is where everything changed. That summer, like most kids from New York or up north, you know what they do in the summertime, right? They send you down south with your family. So every time I went down south with my family, right? That time I went down south, and I was, let's say, 5'6". I was 5'6", husky kid, chubby face and everything else. I come back the end of that summer, 2 months later, I'm 5'9", 5'10", then sweat the whole summer away and sweat pounds and lost a bunch of weight, and now I'm looking like a stud, right? I go to middle school, and I'm go to Marine Park, And still, I don't know anybody. I'm my cousin's the only one. She's popular to me, right? She's popular, and I get put in one of the slowest classes there. Now, I'm being fully transparent. This is probably, like I said, one of the most transparent shows I've given out of all of the shows I've done, right? I get put in one of the slowest class. So anybody know New York City school systems is that I don't think it's that way anymore. But you go through 6-1 through 6-10. 6-1 to 6-10. And I'm in 6-10. 6-11 is special ed, 6-12 is special ed, 6-13 is special ed. And then goes down, 6-12. Yeah, I don't know how they count them, right? I'm in 6-10. But when I get there, it's because of my test scores from the private school. But when I'm in class for the first week, I'm like, no, I can't stay here. I started to feel myself separating from that class, that group. It felt like so much was going on. They had no control of the class. Like I was back in daycare. I ain't talking about crying and everything. It's like they could not stop moving around. It reminded me of Def Comedy Jam when they say you turn the lights on, all the I ain't telling my friends were roaches, but it was white kids in the class. It was everybody, but it was just like everybody who didn't want to learn. It wasn't in special ed. They just didn't want to learn. Badass kids, right? I said, okay, I don't want to be in this class. Now my cousin, she was in 7-2 or 7-3, so she's real smart. My parents had a meeting with the teachers, and I ended up getting put in 6-8. So they moved me up 2 classes. So I'm in 6-8, and I stayed there for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. I don't remember at the time, but I stayed there for only a minute, and it still was like too much going on for me. I tell you, I was doing Shakespeare back in the other school, right? We was doing algebra, equations, all that kind of stuff, right? We doing line dancing, we doing chess and debate club. So I'm in this class, and I'm like, nah, it's just still too much going on for me. So they moved me to 6-5. And I'm giving you all this to give you a background for where my confidence is start coming from, right? Because now the teachers are seeing me because I'm raising my hand. I'm trying to get out, trying to answer questions because I know the stuff. I'm just fitting in. I'm like this, teachers calling me to the front of the class, helping the class out. Okay. Move me to 6-5. At the same time while all this is happening, don't forget I told you I just jumped from 5, let's say 5'6", 5'7", to 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". I'm almost 6 feet now in the 6th grade. So everybody wants me on their team at lunch. Everybody wants me on team at gym. Everybody wants me on their team at intramurals. And my father does something. He probably already did it before this, but he has a basketball goal in the backyard. And, I would play from time to time before, but now everybody want to come to my house to play basketball. This is where this is not Cousin Ed. This is where Edwin was formed, right? I became myself at this point, right? My confidence was there, right? Everybody's coming to my house to play basketball, and guess what? I'm probably one of the best at the time, right? I'm one of the best in the school. I'm one of the best in my age limit for the neighborhood. Now, grown men are coming in the backyard to play. High school kids are coming to play. I'm not better than them, but I'm giving them a run for their money. So fast forward, I go through middle school, and I play sports for the school. This is where, if you heard some of my previous shows, this is where my middle school teacher tells me to pick up a basketball, pick up a football, and whichever one I feel most comfortable with, let it take me to the next level. I picked up a basketball. I got picked for an AAU team, Riverside Hawks, in New York City. Played Riverside. Everything changed for me as a young man, as the confident, outgoing, having, just the world on my shoulders at that time. I went on a school visit, and in New York you go visit schools. You get to pick 8 schools, and whatever school pick you. I picked 8 schools. I went to visit another school that I didn't even put on my list, but I wanted to get out of school that day. And we went to Grady High School. And as I'm walking in the auditorium, the basketball coach stops me and said, "Hey, where are you going to school at?" I said, "Well, I picked Lincoln. I picked South Shore. I started naming schools, right?" He said, "Now you're going to come here." I didn't even put this on my list. I said, I didn't put the school on my list. He said, "Well, give me your parents' number and we'll make it happen." The man went out of his way, called my father to get me to come to that school, and got me into the school without me picking them. They picked me. Now, I'm not saying this to brag and boast about me. I'm telling you how it shaped me as a young man to have the confidence in myself. Right? Somebody wanted me. We have to put, I'm gonna stop the story there and I'll go into the high school years later. But we have to put our kids in places where confidence can be built. Right? We got to show them that they can excel in avenues, arenas, and every place else. It don't have to be through sports. It could be the debate club. It could be cheering. It could be robotics. It could be wherever it is, wherever their community is going to be. And don't just leave them to figure it out for themselves. We got to help them because they are lost, right? Kids are awful. The society is awful. Bullying is awful. All those things. But if they don't have somebody in their corner to help them, mold them, shape them, give them the confidence, they're going to seek it in other ways. That's what I fear about many of the kids. They're going to try to fit in other ways. I know it's a long story. It's been on my heart to share my own experience, and speaking to my daughter's friend gave me the confidence to tell y'all some of my most intimate secrets. Not secrets, it's all intimate stories. Needless to say, I went pretty far and did pretty good things throughout life, and I'm still doing pretty well. I'm proud of where I came from, what I learned, and everything else. But I want to say, listen, let's go back and mentor these kids because they might not have it at home. Let's go back and coach these kids because they might not have it at home. Let's help the parents understand what the kids don't have, right? Some kids don't have shoes. Some kids don't have sneakers. Some kids don't have coats. Some kids, and just having that one item could give them confidence. Some kids don't have a grandmother or they just lost their grandmother. Let's go and build them up. Let's take them to school. Let's take them to Big Brothers and Big Sisters program. Let's do something for these kids to help build them up. I want to thank every coach. I want to thank every teacher. I want to thank everybody who ever said positive things in my life, because there are people out here who will try to bring you down. Let's build them up. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. It's your boy Cousin Ed. I'm out of here. If you wanna just reach out, 762-333-2032, 762-333-2032. Leave a voicemail. Definitely leave a voicemail. Listen, forget the number. Leave a voicemail. Go to cousinedscorner.com. That's cousinedscorner.com. On the top of the page, hit leave voicemail. I love to hear from you. Go to any social media platform, Cousin Ed's Corner. Leave me a DM there. You can leave me a voicemail there as well. I love to hear from you. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Thank you for listening to Cousin.